Alright. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. I am Aelder Ayaka. I hope that you are all doing very well. And hopefully my volume is good. Hopefully you can hear everything just fine. Now I'm not peeking out. I'm not being haunted by my audio ghost again. I'll just turn myself up a little bit just in case. And hopefully yep. Cool. That should be everything. Nice. That should all be very, very good. So, I missed you guys. I definitely missed you. I had so much stuff going on last week. I went to a wedding that was very lovely. It was beautiful. It was gorgeous. We had lots of fun, did lots of dancing. I was driving, so I didn't do a lot of drinking, but it was still a good time. And then, yeah, just doing lots of behind-the-scenes work. I've been drawing some extra stuff that I don't think I'll be able to show off this week, or I might be able to, I don't know. There's things that I want to add to it, so that's the main thing. But today, we're going to get into it with more Amelie, because I did do it on Halloween. I did play this game on Halloween, but I didn't realise that I made a whoopsie. I did a bit of a whoopsie. I was watching a stream as I was setting up, and I think I had my desktop audio on, so it was picking up the other person's stream, and you could hear that in the opening sequence. So I've made sure that that's all good and dandy now, but that means we're going to have to replay, or I'm going to have to replay, so I already know the ending, but I'm hoping you might find it a bit of a surprise. I was very shocked. I was very shocked. I can try and act. I can act as though I'm so shocked. But yeah. Otherwise, let's get into it. Make sure you've got some water or a snack with you, because it was a fairly long one. But this time we're going into yours, Lilica. The rain never seems to cease at this time of year. It pours from the sky in its unending grief, as if longing for something unseen. Thunder roared in the distance, enough so to make the young woman flinch, but not enough to make her waver. The woman sat beside a man with an imposing brow and a large beard. The man wheezed and coughed, but kept hold of the newspaper in his hands. The front page read the following: The Great Plague of London, 7,000 deceased. The man frowned at the words.
How utterly preposterous! What on earth are the physicians doing?
The lady next to him coughed into her handkerchief. When she pulled it away from her mouth, it was stained red with blood. She has the stereotypical anime disease. Or, as I think is meant to be, tuberculosis. I'm sure they're trying their best, my dear.
Their best is going to kill everyone. Forget this rubbish. Amelie is still well and finally of an age to marry. We will arrange for a suitor before she becomes sick.
If we send her out there, then she will certainly grow sick. She should stay here, locked in her room until it's safe to leave.
No man will want a woman who has spent her only good years locked in her bedroom. Yeah, I remember being really frickin' annoyed at this dude. What an asshole.
But she will be safe. And yeah, that was a slap. The lady held her cheek, which quickly reddened after the impact. The lord glared at her behind his bushy brows.
You would do well to remember who she belongs to. Ugh, disgusting. Who you belong to. Doubly disgusting. I hate this dude.
The lady blinked, trying desperately to stop her eyes from welling up. Lilica, please come here. Her voice carried through the otherwise empty home. Time seemed to pause for a few moments before a woman with blonde hair cascading behind her entered the room. She wore the dress of a maidservant, and a neutral expression that wavered just so after seeing the mark left by the Lord's hand. She stepped forward, crossing the tiled floor with slow steps that seemed to match the pace of the thunder that roared outside. The lady nodded to the maid. The maid nodded back to the lady. The moon reflected from the metal object in the maid's hand as she swung it down into the Lord's throat. He let out a gargled scream. Blood splattered out from his mouth, and he tried to speak, tried to yell, but it was too late. He fell forward onto the floor, and the tiles darkened into a crimson red. He squirmed and crawled, searching for something that no one would ever know, before he fell still only a few minutes later. The lady stared at the scene. Her heart raced, and a laugh escaped her lips. Finally, you'll never hurt Amelie. I hope you rot in hell. The maid wiped the knife against a small white hand towel. The stains would never be fully removed. My lady, I will deal with the body. I will help you. He is too much for you to carry alone. But, my lady, you are sick, and I will get no better sitting here. The two grabbed him by an arm each and dragged him towards the stairwell, leaving a trail of blood in their wake. Which, yeah, that escalated quickly, didn't it? It started from a dickhead slapping his wife around to her and her maid being like, you know what? Enough of that nonsense. Which, you know, fair, pop off. You do you, girly. Like, I'm not saying no. No other words passed from their lips as they executed their task. They reached the end of the hall and began the ascent to the first floor. The Lord's head hit against each step with a soft thunk. Thunk, thunk, thunk. The house was silent in all other regards. Two doors sat next to each other. Both were shut tight. As the two women reached the top of the stairwell, the maid pushed open the door to the master bedroom and entered. The room was spacious and clean, with fresh bedding left by the maid just the same morning. On the wall above the bed, a newly painted family picture. The two struggled and finally lifted the man into the bed. His face was stuck in a terrified expression, and his clothes were ruined. You will protect Amelie, right? I'll do anything you desire. Then let us begin. Lightning struck somewhere in the distance, lighting up the otherwise darkened room and showing many things that should have been left unseen. The maid removed her shoes and crawled into the sheets beside the corpse, while the lady dipped her fingers into the Lord's wound and drew a line of blood around the bed. She spoke softly, to no one in particular, chanting words that should never have been chanted. When she was done, she stepped over the threshold and approached the maid. Never let anyone hurt her. Protect her, no matter what. I will, my lady. Thank you, Lilica. You'll never truly understand how much your actions mean to me. The lady leant forward and left a soft kiss against the maid's lips. It was brief and gentle, and something that the two had wished to share for longer than either would admit. I remember being so happy. I was like, oh my god, the maid and the lady of the mansion, girls love, girls love. I know it's like the kind of master-servant kind of trope, but still cute. But then it's also, they did just commit murder, and then Lilica does go a bit crazy from what we've seen, so I hold off on geeking out too much. As the lady pulled away, the maid drew her knife, still smudged with blood, and brought it to her veins, which also trigger warning about what's about to happen, if that's not something you really want to hear. They don't go too graphic with it, but still, I know that can be upsetting for some people. Goodbye, Lilica. Goodbye, my lady. Yep. I like how I gave a trigger warning for that, but not for the thing that happened with the Lord earlier, but, you know. The maid bled out slowly, painfully slowly. The lady gasped for air and clawed at her neck. Everything in the manor became still. Everything, apart from a young lady named Amelie, who sat up in her bed upright, feeling a deep dread in the pit of her stomach, and another young lady named Lilica, who stood over two corpses lying beside each other in the bed. So, if anyone else also guessed that Lilica might have been a ghost of some sort, then I think we got it. I can't remember if they fully explained what she is. I know they must have done some kind of blood magic, so the lady of the manor was technically a witch. But yeah, I don't know if they fully go into what Lilica is, or if she's just a soul that's trapped there, now just a part of the mansion. Yeah. The young lady named Lilica stared at the maid in the bed. Her own face, her own blood, seeping through the bed. And yet, here she stood. She looked at herself in the mirror, and saw a different person entirely. She was no longer the maid. She was Lilica. Her voice was softer, her hair longer. It worked. When she turned back towards the bed, Lilica froze. Both of the bodies were gone, and in their places, two skeletons. How long has it been? She walked towards the door and found it locked. Digging through the tattered clothes of the long-dead maid, she retrieved the key and opened it. The door beside the master bedroom sat ajar, just enough for Lilica to peer in. Amelie sat on the end of her bed, staring at herself in a small handheld mirror while brushing her hair. She hummed a quiet tune, but froze as her eyes met Lilica's. Who are you? I am Lilica. Lilica? But your mother told me that you had a maid named Lilica. What a coincidence. What are you doing here? How long has your mother been gone? My mother? I saw her. She frowned and clutched her head as if she couldn't quite remember. I saw her just this morning. I see. Your parents have left to be cured of the plague. They've asked me to stay here with you until they can return. Really? A cure truly exists? That's right. So, until then, how about we be friends? Amelie's face lit up, and their eternal friendship began. How many years had passed since that day? Neither could tell. Time seemed to stand still within that manor, out in a field in the middle of nowhere. And that's the way Lilica wished it to stay. Hang on. I don't think you can hear the game audio. Maybe that. Oh, well, we'll see. Because there was music playing, but I don't know. Lilica, a letter has arrived. What? Her blood ran cold as Amelie stared at the envelope in her hands. When was the last time we had a letter? How exciting. Perhaps it's Mother, writing that she'll return soon. Perhaps so. Oh. Oh? It seems to be addressed to someone else entirely. Perhaps it was brought here by mistake. Then we had best send it back. Give it to me, and I'll have it returned. A peek wouldn't hurt, don't you think? The cracks in her worldview already starting. Mm-hmm. Lilica watched as the first crack formed in her fragile world. Sorry, I was still trying to mess with my audio. I don't think you can hear it, but it's just the piano music. I will dispose of it immediately. Give it to me. But it was too late. The letter inside had already been let loose, and Amelie's eyes had already taken in the words left for someone else. Sophia. Lilica, I think I will write back. I will let her know that I received the letter by mistake. That isn't needed. Please. Just one letter. Thank you, Lilica. How many letters had arrived at their door since then? How many times had Amelie spoken excitedly about Sophia to her? Sophia. It's always Sophia. Sophia is the crack in this fragile reality. Sophia. I have to get rid of Sophia. Lilica? Lilica's eyes opened with a jolt. I'm sorry. I'm a little tired. What did you say? Sophia says she's coming to visit. More cracks. Do you like that in the background? I thought that was really cool when I first saw it. It shows her mental state quite well, actually. Another crack formed from the last. It sprawled across reality, threatening to shatter at any moment. Amelie, I don't think that's a good idea. The plague. She says that it's safe enough to travel now, in her letter. Perhaps Mother and Father will return soon too. Lilica forced a smile. But we don't need anyone else here. We have each other. Of course. You are my dear friend, Lilica, but Sophia and I have been writing to each other for... She shook her head, as if chasing off the beginnings of a headache. For a long time, anyway. I'm excited to finally meet her. Won't you be excited with me too? We can all be friends. Right. Friends. I'm sure we'll be the best of friends. Ooh, she's so jealous. So... Ooh. Okay, this might be causing double. I want to see if this improves or decreases my mic. Yeah, that's doubled. But if I mute you, because for some reason, the one that I usually have as my normal mic, I think it's a bit crunchy. So, either that or it'll be my mic too. Blah la 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 la. For an amount of time that neither Lilica or Amelie could truly comprehend, the house was suddenly buzzing with life. I know that was much crunchier. Ooh. Let's see if this one works better. Amelie's footsteps were light, and her days filled with excitement as she awaited the arrival of Sophia. And finally, to Lilica's dismay, the day came. The pendulum clock on the wall swung back and forth, ticking down the time. Okay, that one works better. I don't know why. OBS has been messing up a lot for me recently. Still got my audio ghosts then. Lilica stared at it, wishing that it would slow down even further. 10 minutes, then 20, then an hour had passed as the two stood by the door, waiting for a knock. She seems to be late. Perhaps she's not coming after all, Amelie. There's no need to make such a sullen face. Mayhaps it's for the best. She wrote that she would be here, so I shall wait. With her face hidden from Amelie, Lilica scowled. Do you truly believe it's as safe to have visitors during the outbreak? Lilica, I believe we have been isolated long enough, and Sophia has written that it is safe. I trust her word. She would not endanger us. And if your pen pal turns out to be a robber in disguise, what then? Amelie smiled, to Lilica's dismay. Hey, Pearl. Hello. How you doing? Miss you. She has a way with words that only a woman could have. A lady robber, then? Nonsense. By the way, Lilica, have you seen my letters? I can't say that I have. A knock sounded at the door, instantly halting their conversation. Amelie rose from her place and took a steady step forward before Lilica raised a hand to her. Allow me to see if she's truly allowed entry. The door groaned as it slowly swung open and revealed the young woman who had knocked at the door. She was drenched from head to toe. Lilica stared at her, light hair and eyes. She looked almost like a kitten. Instantly, Lilica's dislike for the woman grew. Lilica stepped to the side just in time for Sophia to bounce through the door and wrap her arms around Amelie. Her blood boiled. She watched as the clothes that she had carefully handmade became drenched by someone unworthy, someone that didn't deserve to even look at Amelie. Amelie! Sophia! Amelie's arms wrapped around Sophia in return, and Lilica turned away. My, you're completely drenched. Did you forget your umbrella, perchance? Or perhaps her umbrella got carried away by the winds. With a cool anger written over her features, Lilica shut the door. I didn't even think to bring an umbrella. The forecast said sunny all day. My fault for believing it, I guess. I can't believe you're truly here. Me either. About time, right? You're just as pretty as I knew you'd be. And you too? But what are you wearing? Seeing your house, I feel like I should have dressed up a little more. No. Perhaps it is I that is overdressed. Lilica stood to the side, her arms crossed lightly over her chest. Long hair reached down nearly to the wooden floor. Pardon my manners. My dear friend Lilica is here too. I believe I wrote about her in the past. I remember. I've kept all of your letters safe. Don't worry. As you should. Amelie side-eyed Lilica upon hearing her tone, but Lilica simply looked away. Sorry, but
Is there any chance you have a towel?
Of course. My apologies. I would usually have someone here to attend to us, but everyone's been sent home. Only the three of us remain. Let me fetch you a towel. Amelie disappeared down the hallway, leaving Lilica alone with Sophia. This really is a manor. When she told me about her house, I almost didn't believe it. But no one told you it's rude to poke around someone else's house. Sophia walked straight past Lilica without even a notion of responding. Hello? You can't see me. Sophia ran her fingers along the edge of the tabletop before reaching to pick up a book that rested there. Don't let her touch it. Don't touch it. She'll undo everything. She wants to hurt Amelie. She can't find out the truth. The window shook loudly in the wind. With a flick of her small wrist, Lilica allowed the door to fly open, causing Sophia to whip around in surprise. It's so windy. Lilica locked in on the object that Sophia had been reaching for. She rushed forward and took a hold of it, then quickly hid it behind the cabinet as Sophia reached to close the door. Ugh. Amelie? Sophia spun around, looked straight through Lilica. Sophia? Oh, Amelie. Please, use this. Thanks. I'll bring an umbrella next time, I promise. Lilica watched as Sophia dried herself with the towel. Our towel. It's not for her. Can't be next time. Then, if you're now dried off, would you care for a tour of the house before afternoon tea? I think this one can be double. Again, it was cutting off. I might need to restart OBS at one point. That sounds great. I'm just gonna wait to see if it's doubling my audio. Dun, 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 dun. Yeah, that doubled it. I mean, that's good for doing a double audio when it's twins doing a creepy thing where they talk at the same time, but for now, it's gonna have to be this mic, which I think is still a little bit crunchy, but it's not as bad. On your right is the pantry, and down that hall is the boiler room, but you shouldn't have any need for those spaces. Sophia and Amelie walked side by side, close enough that their shoulders almost touched. Lilica stared at the place where they almost connected, seething with a quiet rage. These are all guest bedrooms. I have prepared this one for your use. If you find anything not to your standards, you can let myself or Lilica know. Amelie, I have a feeling your standards are much higher than mine. I've never even been in a house that looks like this. No? Is your home not similar? Well, it's a lot smaller. There's no shame in that. You own your own property, yes? Yeah, I recently bought it. With your husband. What? No, of course not. I'm not married. Shut up. Your father allowed you to buy property on your own. Amelie, you speak just like how you write. I'm so surprised. Your voice disgusts me. And you speak quite casually. Oh, and you speak quite casually. People usually say that about me. being here around you makes me want to be more formal. But yeah, so again, that's another point where I was like, oh, she can hear what Lilica says, but it seems like it's either Lilica possesses Amelie and speaks through her, but it makes it look Amelie look like she's, I don't know, just being very rude. I don't know. What need is there of formality between friends? That's true too. Your words are poisoning Amelie. This is the morning room, and next door is the dining room. We'll be having afternoon tea in the sitting room here. And so many rooms. Upstairs is my bedroom and the master bedroom. I must ask that you don't enter the master bedroom, as it belongs to my parents and who are currently away. Of course, I won't go poking around anyway. Lies. You're lying. All this walking has made me parched. Shall we take afternoon tea now? Sure. That sounds good. Why don't you have a seat while Lilica and I prepare our food? Oh, I can come help. Nonsense. You're my guest. It would be remiss of me to allow you to lift a finger. If you insist, but I'm happy to help. Any time. Thank you. I will be back soon. Please rest. Amelie. Yes? It's nothing. Take your time. Sophia slipped through the doorway and disappeared. Amelie smiled widely, while Lilica just stared ahead blankly. Isn't this lovely, Lilica? You have a new face in the house. Oh, to have a new face in the house, it feels like forever. Yes, how lovely. I'm glad you are having fun at the very least. Are you not? I'm always having fun when we're together, Amelie. And then we're going to start off with sever her fate. I see. Are you jealous? Worry not, my dear friend. Of course our friendship means just as much to me. I value you greatly. Just as much? Indeed. Come along, Lilica. Let us prepare tea. Amelie, I have something to say to you. You are my very best friend. Did you know that? I feel the same towards you, Lilica. And as such, I feel the need to be truthful with you. You appreciate the truth, don't you? Of course. I trust your judgment very much. Is something the matter? Lie, lie, or lie? What do you think, chap? Lie, lie, or lie? All Lilica do is eat lie, sleep lie, and drink lie. I have the kind of inkling of a feeling I might end up choosing lie. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Catch a tiger by the toe. If they squeals, let them go. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Lie. Your mother contacted me. She believes that they'll be able to return shortly. Oh, Lilica, this is wonderful news. Indeed. She was very excited for me to pass on her message to you, but keep lying, keep lying, keep lying. I think I might choose to keep on lying. Well, she wasn't pleased to hear that you had someone visiting without her permission. Oh, I thought she would be delighted that I had invited a friend. Lie. Yes, are you happy? I chose lie. I figured lie might be the answer. Oh, now we've got slightly different. We've got your entire existence is a lie. So which one do you reckon? Your entire existence is a lie. In fact, I could do a poll. Should we lie, or should we lie, or should we lie? There we go. I know, very hard choice to do. And again, I'm just appreciating all the art, like Lilica's hair going all the way down. Like, they describe it as such, but then sometimes they describe it and it ends up going here. But her hair is insanely long. Like, I know she's only, like, a fairly short person, but the fact that it does seem to go pretty much to the floor. And then Amelie with her little hair bow, because that doesn't look like a hairband bow. That looks like she's made her hair into a bow shape, which is absolutely adorable. I wish I could do that with my hair, but I'm afraid my hair is just going to get knotted. And then again, I think I've said before, but the outfits. I want the outfits. They look so cute. I'm not sure if I'd suit them, but I think they look cute. I have them just to have in my wardrobe and go, ah, it's so pretty. Alright, and then obviously I'm not going to leave the poll up too long, but let's see. End poll. What does it say? Oh, we had a top and a middle choice. Oh, what could it be? Which one should I choose? Oh, it's so difficult. Your entire existence is a lie. A lie? Or should we just go with a lie? I'll go with the bottom one. It's a lie. Of course, I pleaded with her that Sophia was a dear friend, but she wouldn't listen. I see. Did she say when she would return? No, but it seems to be soon. Then I'll send Sophia away like normal tomorrow. I can't exactly force her out into the storm now, can I? Why not? Lilica. Naturally. I'm just teasing. Of course it wouldn't be right to send her away at a time like this. I'm glad to hear that we've come to an agreement. How pleased I am to know that Mother will return soon. Let's go prepare tea, shall we? Did you finish the baking yesterday? The pastries are ready for serving. Excellent. I'll just fetch the tea then. Allow me. A lady of your standing shouldn't be doing such a menial task, should she? Don't be absurd. Even Sophia herself seemed to be fine in the kitchen. Did you hear how she jumped to help? I should follow in her footsteps. What would your parents think of that? I appreciate the sentiment, but they took with them all of the staff. I have little choice but to prepare my own tea. I see. Then, shall I attend to our guest? I wouldn't want her to become lonely. Would you? I'll only be a few moments. Of course. Anything for you, Amelie. It will be a good chance for you to become friends too. I'm sure it will be. Lilica's smile at that moment seemed to hide behind it an intent much deeper than Amelie realized. The walls had eyes. Ooh, oh yeah, I forgot how creepy that was. Eyes, 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 everywhere eyes. They're staring at you, eyes. They're judging you, eyes. Eyes that tracked Lilica's every move. They followed her as she made careful, deliberate steps towards the sitting room. They stared, their eyes bulging, judging. They had no mouths in which to scream, but Lilica could still hear their words. Oh, hang on. I want to put my voice moddy thingy on. Boop. Boop. See if this works. We all sacrificed ourselves to our protect Amelie. Okay. Was that one taken to the voice mod? History. Okie dokie. Yeah, for some reason that didn't pick up as well as I thought it would. Amelie. Or it still didn't. Oh, I don't know. Is that doubling? Or is it working better with that? Gosh darn it, OBS, voice mod. Amelie, under her feet. It went a lot better last time. When it wasn't messing up my fun stuff that I wanted to mess around with. Boo. Oh well. Yeah, it still was cutting me out. Okay, well, whatever. Under her feet, shattered glass pierced through her shoes, cutting up her feet. She could feel the blood ooze out, pooling. It was warm, comforting. She looked up to find where the glass had come from. Then she noticed the cracks once again. Along every wall, every floorboard, even through the air. The world was fragmented. It was already broken. Not beyond repair. It's not. My lady, I will fix this still. You can rest. Please, rest. I will take care of everything. Anything and everything. For you. She blinked. The world reverted to the way it should. The glass that lined the floor, gone. The eyes that followed from the walls, gone. And the cracks that had begun to wrap themselves around Lilica's ankles had disappeared too. She stood in front of the sitting room's door, which sat slightly ajar. Inside, Lilica could see Sophia staring out of the large window. Her back stayed turned as Lilica entered the room. Of course, it wouldn't have been possible for Sophia to turn and look at her, but Lilica still found herself taking careful, quiet steps. The window shook past the dark, thick curtains. You, who would attempt to defy your fate, why don't we see how long this little game lasts? Why don't we test whose love is stronger? I swear, my love is unwavering. My infatuation, my yearning, my desire. You could never even wish to match it. Lilica pulled out a chair, roughly dragging the legs across the floor. Yet you dare to challenge me. You dare to test my love. Amelie, was that you? Amelie? Sophia took careful steps towards the chair, resting her hand against it. Or Lilica? You're nothing. Sophia sat down in the chair that was offered to her, while Lilica circled round as if a cat after its prey. Her steps paused as she heard something strange. Footsteps from above. The master bedroom? In front of her very eyes, Lilica watched the scene unfold. A scene that made her blood run cold and her body freeze in place. My lady? Lady of the house stood beside Lilica. Where before the two had stood eye to eye, now the lady stood taller than Lilica by at least a head. My lady, what are you doing here? The lady removed her shoes and stepped onto the table. Did you come to punish me? Are you angry? I promise I will remove the plague that has entered our home. I swear upon it, upon my undying love. The lady did not respond. Instead, she reached up and took a hold of the noose, which again, trigger warning, the rope wrapped around her neck, exactly where the necklace that the maid had gifted the lady should have rested. Whoop. Okay, I'm going to try my voice mod again, but I don't know, I might just keep it on my normal mic and hopefully, I think that was the best one. Join me. Her eyes locked onto Sophia's. Her hand was outstretched, waiting to be taken. Why won't you look at me, my lady? Are you truly so angry? Angry enough to despise me? For but a moment, as Sophia's outstretched hand came closer and closer, the lady's eyes turned slowly towards Lilica. They carried with it a message that only Lilica could decipher. Okay, my voice mod's not even working, so I'm not even going to bother. They carried with it a message that only Lilica could decipher. Come on. Lilica's body shook. It trembled and trembled until she could bear it no more, and she ran from the room as fast as her legs would carry her. If the hallway still had eyes, they weren't fast enough to follow Lilica. The floorboards, as if made of quicksand, threatened to suck her up and bury her deep within the house. Her feet felt heavy and leaden. Every step was as painful as that brief glance. She raced through the hall and up a flight of stairs, past the stained glass window, which left a myriad of colours all over the carpeted steps, and past the doors that led to the master bedroom and Amelie's room. Closer. Closer, until she arrived at the bookcase. She pushed it to the side and entered the hidden room. The room behind the bookcase was small, and not a single window faced outwards. Thus, the room was near pitch black. Each wall was plastered with handwritten letters. Handwritten letters, clearly for Lilica alone. Her eyes, frantic, finally started to calm as she took in the words. Her words. Words left to her. For her. Only for her. Lilica's eyes settled on a particular letter. Look left, look right, look ahead. Well, look at all of them anyway. So, dear Amelie, Lilica, how wonderful to hear that you're doing well. I've been very busy this week, but most of it is boring, so I won't bog you down with the details. Yeah, I forgot I need to press this. But do you know what happened just yesterday? Of course you don't. You weren't there. I was walking home when I found an abandoned kitten. Someone left it in a box on the side of the road. How could anyone do that? Anyway, I took her home and named her Lily, after you. It's a little embarrassing, writing it out like that. I hope you don't mind. Yours, Sophia Marion. Look right. Dear Amelie, Lilica, I've spent the past week studying. Don't get me wrong, I enjoy it, but everyone needs a break, you know. On my desk, I have a little cactus in a pot. To be honest, a cactus wasn't my first choice, but I've killed every other plant I've ever owned. Anyway, it bloomed. There's one beautiful flower coming out of it. I couldn't be happier. So that makes studying easier. I think your environment makes a big difference. How about you? Do you have any plans? I'm looking forward to hearing about it next time. Yours, Sophia Marion. Again, I really love the stationery. It looks really cute, especially the one with the oranges on it. And like this one, which has, I think it's either a rose or more of a peony pattern, so a flower pattern. Yeah, probably more peonies, but still. Very cute. Except for the fact that she's obviously stolen. So, you know, earlier, Amelie asked, "Oh, have you seen my letters?" And Lilica went, "No. Now, I don't know where your letters are, because she considers these her letters for her." She's very delulu at the minute. Dear Amelie, Lilica, today was tough. I tried my hardest, but I still failed. Don't you think life is unfair sometimes? I wish trying hard enough was all it took to succeed. Sorry, I'm whinging, aren't I? I came out of my interview and it was raining. I thought, just my luck. But something interesting happened. A rainbow in the distance peeked out from behind the grey clouds. It reminded me of you, and then I felt a little better. I hope we can meet soon. Yours, Sophia Marion. She ripped the letter from the wall and clutched it to her chest, collapsing to her knees. She couldn't hate me. She couldn't. She adored me like I adore her. She entrusted her everything to me. Everything. Her everything. Amelie. The letter dropped from her fingers that were neither cold nor warm. You want me to get rid of that disease, don't you? You won't accept me until I protect Amelie. Is that right, my lady? I'd do anything you asked. So, if that's all I have to do, then I will do it. I'll keep Amelie safe forever. Lilica stood from the ground and dusted off her skirt. Her face that had previously contorted in distress had finally calmed, and a smile gently crept onto her face. I love you, my lady, and for you, I will love Amelie too. I should like the sconces too. Where did I put those matches? Right here. Ah! You gave me a fright, Lilica. Where have you been? Preparing the guest room for your dear friend, of course. Oh, how kind. Sophia's just preparing for a bath at the present. I'm going to retrieve a towel for her from the linen closet. Amelie, I think it best you send her home post-haste. What? Why would I do that? For all you know, She brings with her the plague.
Sophia says it is now safe to travel. You say Mother is returning soon? It should be perfectly fine, don't you think?
And what if she lies?
She wouldn't do that. Sophia's a kind and good-natured person. She would not bring any danger to us. Did you know that Sophia attends a local university? Pardon me, I needed to go on. She attends a local university, and she lives by herself, with no husband. She says that if I wanted, I could also study.
Study? Study? She wants to leave? Leave the house? No, she can't leave. She can't go anywhere. She belongs here. She was entrusted to me. The lady of the house should not study, Amelie. You must stay inside the house and await your parents.
But I'm sure Mother would want the best for me. Perhaps, while I await her, I could go to inspect Sophia's school? Pardon me, I'm yawning again.
Amelie, you must stay inside and await your parents' return.
But
don't you trust me? Have I ever led you astray?
No, Lilica, I was just thinking that perhaps it truly is beginning to be safe.
Look, I've brought today's newspaper. Do you see the title?
The plague runs rampant.
Put any notion of leaving or studying away for now. Yes? As soon as it's truly safe to do so, then we shall, and you'll be reunited with your family. For now, it is just you and me.
Thanks, Lilica. I'm glad you're here.
As am I.
The towel. Let me go retrieve it.
Go ahead.
Alone, Lilica stared at the bathroom door, which was shut tight. Behind it, she could hear the water running. She could picture Sophia's body, slowly shedding its layers of clothes before she stepped into the hot water. That image was enough to force her hand.
I'm gonna have a sippy of my tea. It's gone a bit cold, but...
The running water sloshed into the steel-lined wooden tub. A state-of-the-art system. No one else in the country owned anything like it. But how many years ago was that? How long had it been? Sophia leaned over the sink, her bone-white knuckles grasping either side of it. Her back was turned to Lilica. If she wanted, she could stab her in the back and be over with it.
No. I need to keep Amelie's trust. She needs to leave, or go somewhere where she'll never be found. Or do it herself.
Sophia lifted her face to the mirror, then froze. Her eyes bore into it, as if she was seeing something that she shouldn't. Lilica stared back, unmoving.
Leave. Leave already.
Who? One step at a time, maintaining eye contact through the mirror, Lilica crept closer, closer, and closer, until the two were nearly touching.
Why do you want to take Amelie away? Can't you see that she loves me, not you? Your words are poisoning this household. If you don't leave, I'll kill you. I'll have no choice. I'll just kill you. Who are you? Sophia whipped around, but her eyes didn't focus on any spot in particular. Pardon me again. It is every time I do any kind of long form of voice acting, a yawn. Wow. And it's fairly late, but to her, Lilica was gone. Lilica walked towards an open cabinet and pulled something out. So yes, we're trying to go for the bad end here, so sever her fate. The metal of the razor glinted. Lilica raised it up as she moved to stand over the bath. With ease, the metal cut into her arm. Drops of blood fell into the water, leaving tiny splashes where they connected. Blood still runs in my veins after all. Sophia rushed past Lilica, desperate to turn off the overflowing water before she froze once again. The water was a deep, dark red. Her slender fingers dipped into the liquid as if she were entranced. One layer at a time, she stripped bare, her expression hollow and lifeless. Lilica watched as her naked body stepped into the crimson water. Why not just end it here? You're scared, aren't you? Just sink down. Accept your fate. Accept it. Yeah, I was worried I might need to do the censorship, but it's fine, it's self-censored. You can hear me now, can't you? Why not just end it? You're scared. You're so terrified. You just came here to see your friend, and look at what's happened to you. Amelie. Yes, Amelie. Amelie, where did you go? Where are you? Amelie, I want to see you. Shut up. You don't deserve to speak her name. You don't deserve to be in her presence. Why don't you just give up? Just sink deep into the abyss. Isn't it inviting? Sink right. I should. Isn't the water so warm and inviting? That's right. Just sink down into it. Then you'll finally be able to rest. Amelie, you... A knock came from the door. Lilica's widened eyes went from the door to the young woman in the bath, then back again. Excuse me, I'm coming in. Lilica ducked behind the folding screen just in time to hear the door open. Sophia? I knocked, but I didn't hear a reply. I've bought you a towel. Ah! She didn't wait any longer. As Amelie stepped into the room to set down the towel, Lilica quietly dashed out into the hall. Before Lilica had a chance to even catch her breath, the bathroom door opened once again, and Amelie stepped out with flushed cheeks. Did you tell her that she must depart? No, I... Is something the matter? Are you feeling unwell? Your face is bright red. Sophia will stay until she decides to leave. No. She must leave now, tonight, no longer. As you wish. I'm sorry, Lilica, but I believe it is only fair, after she has travelled so far, and she is my friend. That woman, that siren, look at what she does to our Amelie. I will finish preparing the guest room. Let me come help. Sophia, when you're done in there, you can come to your room. From the other side of the door, Sophia's voice came in return. Okay. Thanks, Amelie. The guest bedroom was freshly cleaned, with new linen on the bed and a lit lantern besides it. Fortunately, Lilica had prepared the room well in advance. You did a fine job of preparing the room so far. Thank you, Lilica. Anything for you. I was thinking, tomorrow, if the rain has cleared up, we could open the greenhouse again and have morning tea there. It's been so long since we last used it. More cracks. By now, a dozen cracks stemmed from a dozen other cracks, filling the entirety of Lilica's world. At any moment, even a breeze would make everything collapse. Didn't we already speak of this? You cannot leave the house. But surely the greenhouse would be safe. No one else uses it, and it is only a few steps from the back door. It is unsafe. You know this. What has gotten into you? Is it because of your friend? I just thought it would be nice to at least sit in the sun. Then you may sit by the window in the dining hall. Is it really so unsafe that even taking a foot out... even taking a foot outdoors would be dangerous? Yes. Sophia, I see that you're done with the bath. Look at the blushy. Oh, the blush is so cute. Lilica crossed her arms over her chest. Anger already rising in her chest. Were you talking about the greenhouse? Yes. Did you see it when you arrived? I did, but it looked as if the plants inside had died. Oh, that's impossible. It's barely been any time at all since the gardeners left. I'm sure the plants inside are more sturdy than that. Well, even if they died, maybe we could go in and replant some things tomorrow. How wonderful. Have you not heard a single word I said? It is unsafe to do so. Oh, don't be such a spoil sport. I think it would be perfectly fine. Well, it is getting late now, so I'll leave you to retire. If you need anything, my room is just upstairs, on the left. Good night, Sophia. Poison dripped from her voice as Lilica left the guest room behind. Let's have another sippy. The house had a heart, and that heart was beating to the same rhythm as Lilica's. It was frenzied, on the verge of losing control. It echoed through her head, through the hall, through to every corner of the building. Like Morse code, it was as if the house itself was telling her to do something. Get rid of her. Cut out the disease. Protect Amelie. She bit her thumb, pacing back and forth. Amelie will be upset, but Amelie doesn't need anyone else here. She has me. She won't be upset for long, and she'll forget. That's right. She'll forget. Her breath hitched in her throat. But what do I do? What do I do?
She just won't die.
My lady, what am I supposed to do? At that moment, Lilica put her ear to Amelie's door, listening intently. How about coming away with me for a while? Away? Outside of the house? What about the sickness? Away? Outside of the house? It's okay now. You'll be okay. You can come stay at my house. I could show you around my school. You don't have to go for an arranged marriage if you don't want to. Lilica's hands balled into fists at her side. You would do that? For me? You are my dearest friend, and I actually... You think you can take her away from me? Lilica's balled fists slammed against the door, each one sent a pain shooting up her arm all the way to her shoulder. There's an end missing out of that. That messed me up a little. Inside, the voices went quiet.
Destroy her fate.
She doesn't belong to you. Lilica? Finally, Lilica snapped out of her daze. At some point, Amelie had left the guest bedroom and was standing a short distance away from her, looking worried. Instantly, she took a deep breath and composed herself. But her heart still beat as loud as a drum, and the cracks that seemed to be centered around Amelie were still spreading at an increasing rate. It is late. You should retire to your bedroom. Yes, I shall. It is nice having someone else around, isn't it? I feel as if the manor is coming back to life. I hope we see Mother and Father soon. I'm sure we will. Shall I see you to bed? Yes, please. The hallway was darkened, with only a few sconces and candles lit along the way, and Lilica relished in it. On a night like this, long ago in the past, she had sealed her fate along with Amelie's, and tonight she would seal the fate of yet another person. The two rose up the grand staircase side by side. Moonlight drifted in through the stained glass window. This seemed to be the only place free from those cracks. If she squinted, she could almost see it. Almost hear it. Again, the stained glass window is really pretty. Like, a bit chaotic. I can't quite tell what is what. Like, obviously there's people down here. I don't know if they've got spears or something. There's one here who looks like they're dancing. And then this one looks like they're offering some leaves of some kind. That one also looks like they're either dancing or doing something. And then, yeah, these ones also have spheres. And I don't know if these are meant to represent angels, because there's one with a lion face. That kind of looks like a bull, because it's got the horns. Or it could be an owl, potentially. And then, yeah, that one's more of a, like, human-faced one. And I think I also finally figured out how to have the game audio playing. But I'll just turn it down a wee little bit. Sorry, that's why I went quiet for a little bit earlier. That head hitting each step with a loud thunk. Those eyes would never open again to look upon a woman with scorn. That hand will never be raised to leave a mark on pristine skin. The sound filled her with joy, and the thought of repeating that fateful night left her footsteps light with excitement. Lilica, may I ask you a question? Certainly. Have you ever heard of a woman loving another woman as a woman would love a man?
Ooh, and then, yeah, that was a big crack.
Also, okay, that's weird. OBS, stop messing with my stuff. So it should be playing the game capture. See if that does it. I'm worried that might double my audio. Again, I think OBS is messing with me. But yes, girls love, girls love, girls love. You're allowed to have girls love. Let's go, lesbians, let's go. Let's go, lesbians, let's go. Where did you hear about such a thing? Nowhere in particular. It was just a thought that came to my mind. I think you're overtired because of all the excitement. Amelie, I think it best you get some rest. Yes, all right. Good night, Lilica. Lilica, who was seated on the edge of Amelie's bed, stood with unsteady feet. Standing in the doorway, she looked back at Amelie. Good night, Amelie. Sleep well. Tomorrow, everything will be better. Lilica stepped out of the bedroom, shutting the door softly behind her. The hall was still dark, with only a few candles to light her descent. It was quiet. Everything was asleep. The eyes that followed Lilica wherever she went were closed. The voices that crept up from between the floorboards were silent. Somehow, that only made Lilica more uncomfortable. But that didn't matter. Not now. She knew where she was going and what she must do. She inched closer and closer to that door that led behind it a sickness named Sophia. It was closed tight. Lilica raised her hand, almost as if to knock, but instead pushed it open and entered. Just as the hallway was dark, so was the guest bedroom. The lantern had been blown out only a short while ago. No sound came from the bed. All was still. Lilica crept closer, closer, and closer, until she stood over the bed like a shadow. The woman underneath her kept her eyes shut tight. Her face was calm and serene. Lilica couldn't help but smile as her hands wrapped around her fragile, pale neck. Her fingers dug into Sophia's flesh, so soft and easily bruised. Still, she didn't even shift. For some reason, that made Lilica even more furious. But as the young woman named Sophia laid as still as a statue, her mind wandered back to another that had once done the same in this very house. A young woman who had left Amelie in Lilica's care, who had only wanted the best for her daughter, had only wanted for her to be happy. The problem is she'll leave. That's the problem, isn't it, my lady? The cold fingers slowly unwound from Sophia's throat. that she'll leave and take Amelie away. But if she stays, then won't Amelie be happy? She'll be so happy, always, forever. And then, maybe you can... Lilica withdrew from the room in a rush, her feet carrying her faster than they ever had before, through the hall, up the stairs, and into Amelie's bedroom once again. The bed was warm and inviting. Lilica enveloped herself in that heat, wrapping her arms around Amelie tightly. Sophia! Lilica? You want Sophia to stay here forever? What? She will leave if we don't do anything about it. She'll leave, and you'll never hear from her again. That's not true. Lilica, she wouldn't just do that. My dear Amelie, I spoke to her just a moment ago. She was already packing up her bags. At that, Amelie rubbed her eyes and sat up. It can't be true. Go check for yourself. Amelie, not wasting even a single moment, walked towards her door and peered down. From here, the moon was shining through the stained glass, just right, illuminating the hallway below. In the distance, a shadow could be seen moving. Lilica smiled. See? Lilica picked up a toy doll that sat on Amelie's bed, a relic from the past. Its straw-coloured hair almost seemed to stand on end. Don't you want to keep her here? Don't you want her to be like this doll? Keep her here? Right. Your own special doll who will never, ever leave you. Don't worry. I'll make it happen. Just for you. I'll make sure you're happy forever. Go down the hall to my room, behind the bookcase. Wait for me. Amelie's eyes had glazed over, as if she wasn't truly there. She stood from the bed and picked up a small black case that rested on her nightstand before leaving the room. It wasn't long afterwards that Lilica followed in her footsteps, just in time to see Sophia ascending the staircase. She walked straight past Lilica, who was smiling happily, and approached Amelie's door. As she knocked, the door fell open with a groan. Amelie, are you in here? Amelie's waiting for you. From somewhere hidden in the darkness, a fragile melody filled the air. And then, yeah, you can hear the melody. I was worried that you couldn't hear it. I was going to try and bring my headphones up to the microphone just in case. Almost instantly, Sophia turned towards the sound and began to follow. Lilica sped up enough to walk beside her. Isn't this great? You like Amelie, don't you? Don't you want to make her happy? She would be ecstatic for you to stay forever. So, why don't we help her to be happy forever? She offered no answer. They entered the room together. In the centre of the room, surrounded by candles, Amelie sat. Her skirt fanned out around her. Spread out over the floor were piles of letters. Upon closer inspection, each was filled with words that had been crossed out and signed with yours, Marion. Amelie, are you awake? Her eyes were shut tight, yet her hands moved enough to play the sorrowful tune. Please, listen to me. Amelie, Lilica's... She isn't... I'm not what? You're going to leave her, aren't you? Lilica shut the door, dragging the heavy lock across. In response, Sophia rushed back backwards and tried the handle to no avail. Amelie's eyes finally opened. In place of her usual golden eyes was a glare of deep red. Amelie, snap out of it. I pressed forward to okay, shoot. Amelie, snap out of it. Please, snap out of it. You want to take her away. Amelie, please. One at a time, Lydica blew out the candles on the floor. The room was plunged into darkness. Amelie fell forward, her body exhausted. It's nice to meet you, Sophia. I'm sure we're going to have a fun time living together, since you will be staying with us after all, right? Lydica, could you pass the sugar? Of course, Amelie. With a smile, Lydica pushed the sugar across the table towards Amelie. She picked up the teaspoon and dropped a single cube of sugar into her tea. If it's cubes, you usually use sugar tongs, obviously. Oh, what? Oh, they don't know the half of it. Would you like one, Lydica? No, thank you. Just being around you makes my tea sweet enough. And you, Sophia? You're awfully quiet today. I'll just give you one. That keeps going randomly loud. So it's still not liking... Bum 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 bum. Boo 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 boo. Oh, it's like that one that I was meant to have. Whoops. That might be it. Maybe. We'll see. So, what do you think has happened to Sophia? Silence. Next to Amelie sat Sophia. Perfect and pristine. To Amelie's eyes, at least. But Lydica saw the truth. Her flesh convulsed and pulsated, and her eyes bulged from what was once her head. The shape of Sophia was gone, and in its place was a mound of a person who used to be. Lydica smiled. You know, she likes sugar in her tea. There's no need to ask. You're right. I'm so happy. Sophia, Lydica, you are both so important to me, and thank you for being by my side. Anytime. Isn't that right, Sophia? From now on, it's just the three of us. The three of us. Side free, Lydica, free of free. So now, is this really okay? What about the future? Should you try again? I believe so, because I was going to say that is the bad end. That's the one where it's like, oh, that's no bueno. The room was dark. Amelie had long gone to bed, leaving Sophia alone in her room. She ducked her head under the cover and pulled out her phone. Still dead. Sophia clutched it to her chest. What do I do? What exactly is going on here? Sophia's body stiffened up. Her back was to the door, but her mind screamed not to turn around. Footsteps. crept closer and closer. Closer and closer until... Stay away from me! Ah! Sophia threw her bedding at the approaching person and jumped to her feet, ready to run. But the person she saw collapse to the ground was not the person she was expecting. Oh my gosh! Amelie! I'm so sorry! Sophia knelt down, quickly helping the brown-haired girl to her feet. It's quite all right. I didn't mean to scare you. I apologize. No, it's my fault. I'm too jumpy. I'm glad you're here. I'm really glad you're here. Sophia's arms draped over Amelie's shoulders, and she pulled her in tight. Amelie froze for just a moment before she melted into the embrace. I'm here. But is everything all right? No, I don't think everything's all right. What could be the matter? Amelie, my phone died as soon as my cab approached your house. Do you see? She pulled out her phone, showing her the black screen. What exactly is that? Huh? My mobile. Amelie picked it up curiously, turning it in her hands. You've never seen a phone? What is it used for? For texting, making calls, playing games, those kind of things. Amazing. Just adjust my chair. Shuffle. Amelie, what year is it? What year? Why do you ask? Please. 1665, of course. Oh. Sophia took a step back from Amelie. What is it? Amelie, this makes no sense. Lilica, this house, you? Amelie, it's 2021. What? Sophia, that's preposterous. Oh my god. She fell back onto the bed, her legs not able to hold her up any longer. Oh my god! Amelie, you're not joking. You're really... Are you feeling unwell? Maybe you need to get some rest after all. Amelie, please listen to me. Out there, the world has changed. We have phones, cars, computers. We don't need a husband. We don't need permission to buy a house. You can go to school, get a job, do whatever you want. I know I probably sound crazy to you right now, but please, I'm telling you the truth. You're trying to tell me that nearly 400 years have passed, and I've been stuck here. How would that even be possible? I don't know. Amelie, how long have we been writing to each other? Well, I don't know. It's been 5 years. I need to find Lilica. She'll know what's going on here. No, wait. You can't ask Lilica. Why not? I can't see Lilica. Amelie, I haven't seen her once. Oh, whoops. I think I remembered this from the last time when I played it. And I think I might have spoiled early on, but hey, Sophia can't see Lilica. Oh, I'm sorry if I did mention that earlier. Sorry, spoilers. But she's been here from the start. I've only seen you in this house. Amelie, something's going on within this house that's kept you stuck here. And I think this is the one, and I think she is the one that's done it to you. Ah, that can't be true. Then why don't we find out together? How? In the master bedroom. Lilica was the one who said you couldn't enter, wasn't she? Please. Sophia reached out her hand carefully. Amelie stared at it, unsure, before deciding to take it. I don't understand what's going on, but I trust you. Let's go. I just go, you for a moment to yawn and drink some water. Okay. The hallway was still dark, with no sign of Lilica anywhere. If she appears, then tell me, okay? Okay. Hand in hand, the two walked quickly through the hall and up the staircase. There they stood in front of the master bedroom, side by side. Their hands were sweaty, knees weak, arms spaghetti. I made the same joke last time, I'm sorry. I can't help it. No matter what's in there, I'll be by your side, okay? Amelie offered no words. Instead, just squeezing Sophia's hand gently. And at that, Sophia pushed the door open. Just like the rest of the house, the room was dark and quiet. Only the moon was shining in from the dirty window guided the two in. It smelled musty, as if they were in a tomb only just uncovered. Not a bedroom. They crept closer and closer to the bed. It was surrounded completely by the canopy, keeping whatever was inside hidden. With a shaky hand, Sophia reached towards the light velvet. At once, the truth came into view. Amelie gasped and almost fell to her knees, but Sophia's hand kept her steady. I'm sorry, Amelie, but they left. They left only a few weeks ago. It looks like they've been gone for a very long time. Amelie, I know this is hard to believe. I find it just as hard to believe as you do. Please, we have to leave this house. Now. Before Lilica finds us. She knew. I think that you've been bound to this house by her. We need to find a way to leave. Okay. The two only got halfway down the stairs when Amelie grounded to a halt. Sophia turned to look at her, her eyes wide in surprise, only to see that Amelie's expression was one of immense fear. Lilica, what are you two doing out of bed? Lilica, Oh, you went in there. She nodded upstairs. You lied to me. Only to keep you happy. Happiness with lies as their foundation isn't true happiness. And why not? We've been perfectly happy here.
for longer than you've existed. And then you come along and I'm sorry. Amelie, I'm sorry. Lilica burst into tears, wiping at her eyes with her sleeve in a desperate attempt to stop them from overflowing. Lilica. Wait, Amelie, don't. Amelie took a step towards Lilica, as if to comfort her. Please, don't leave, Amelie. Can't we stay here together? Amelie, she's lying to you. She wants to keep you trapped here. Please. But, please. Amelie. Sophia pulled on Amelie's arm, forcing her to face her. Amelie's eyes were filled with confusion. I know you two have been together for a long time. I know I can't compete with that, but I want to give you the life you deserve. You deserve to be free, to live, to experience everything you've missed out on. Not be stuck in time here forever. And the truth is, I... Yes! It's still always a good time when you get them really cute CGs, especially of them kissing. Look how soft they look. Oh, they're so adorable. Oh, she's shocked, but she's very pliant with it. Like, she's not pushing away or anything. She's not even like frozen up in a stiff pose. It's so soft. It's so cute. It's so cute. Good on you, Sophia. Good on you. Whatever words were coming next were lost before they were even spoken, as Sophia leant forward and placed a gentle kiss against Amelie's lips. Mwah. The cries from below extinguished in an instant as Lilica watched on in horror. But just for a moment, the rest of the world melted away, and all that existed were the two of them, Amelie and Sophia. Oh, she closed her eyes. Amelie closed her eyes. The sensation was new and foreign, yet not unwanted. Butterflies were let loose in both of their stomachs. Where they connected, heat spread throughout their bodies. And then Sophia pulled away. The truth is, Amelie, I've liked you for a very long time, and even if you don't like me back, I want to help you. I want to help you live again. Amelie, don't listen to her. Okay. A decisive smile came to Sophia's lips. She had no time to dwell on the sudden kiss, nor her confession that would usually make her feel so nervous she'd be sick. All she had time for was to escape. Her eyes went down the hall, where an enraged Lilica stood in their path. The windows were bolted down, unable to be opened. There was nowhere at all to escape. That is, except... Do you trust me? I do. Sophia didn't need any more confirmation. With Amelie in hand, she turned, ran, and jumped. And it matches the cracks to Lilica's worldview as Sophia was entering their life. There's like slowly cracks everywhere, and then she manages to crack the stained glass and burst free. I love the poetic cinema. The glass shattered as the two girls hit it hard. They fell, surrounded by the shards, until they hit the ground below, which also is extremely dangerous. Do not do that, because you're very likely to also accidentally stab yourself with a shard of glass, and you may have escaped the house, but you could also still very much die of blood loss. The moon shone from above, shielded away from the storm that never seemed to end. Amelie, are you okay? Yes, I think so.
Sophia rushed to Amelie's side, quickly helping her to sit up. Side by side, they looked up at the remains of the stained glass window. Lilica stood, completely still. I can see her. I'm sorry, Lilica, but... Lilica just shook her head. She grasped at her throat with her hand, and her lips moved, but no sound came out. Giving up, she looked back at Amelie, holding eye contact. Her expression wasn't angry anymore. It was just sad. She lifted her hand and waved, a slow and small motion, before she crumbled to dust on the wind. It stopped. Lilica, it seems it wasn't you bound to this house by her, but the other way around. What am I meant to do now? Amelie, you're free. You can do whatever you wish. Sophia, exhausted, once again wrapped her arms around Amelie, who returned the gesture almost immediately. There they embraced under the now free moon. What I was worried about was that as soon as they left the house, because Amelie had also been there for 400 years, I was worried that as soon as they left the house, Amelie would also crumble to dust or turn to a skeleton or something, like, because, you know, it is meant to be a horror, it is meant to be sad, but we'll see. I was expecting it to be as soon as they jumped out the window, it's like Sophia turned around and be like, Amelie, but she's not there, but she was there, so hopefully. In this manner, in the middle of a field, far out in the countryside, a curse was broken. A young woman freed. What her future held wasn't certain. After all, the future never is. But she made her decision on that fateful night. To trust in the future. To trust in herself. No matter what. Yeah, and then we get to see the CGs. The credits: lead developers, Gab Mac, Caspi, and translation Yuri Atelier. The producers, I can't read all of them fast enough, but yes, very good work. I'm just going to mute while I adjust my chair again, because it's getting a bit uncomfy. Amelie, I'm back from my class. Sophia, quick, come here. Is something the matter? No, look. Amelie held a phone screen up to Sophia, who just laughed in response. You got a 5-star character in that game you like. Isn't it amazing? All I had to do was insert the numbers on that card you gave me. The future truly is astounding. I will talk about it later. Oh, what's this? I'm not sure. It was slipped under the door while you were out. A plain white envelope sat on the coffee table. Nothing on it identified who sent it, or who it was addressed to. With little concern, Sophia opened it and pulled out a letter. But the words may as well have been in a different language, as she could not read them. Her eyes went straight to the name at the bottom of the page. Yours, Lilica. That was the very good, I think that was the true end. And then there are other options, but I have nearly been going 2 hours, and that's... I'll quickly go through, but I'm going to skip a load of it. So all of this is pretty much exactly the same as the other 2 runs, so I'm just going to skip forward until we have the decision, and this time instead of choosing the sever your fate, we're just going to leave it as is. So, yep, kill the dickhead. Yeah, fantastic. Yes. And then, instead of sever her fate, we'll just carry on. Ah, I see. Are you jealous? Worry not, my dear friend. Of course our friendship means just as much to me. I value you greatly. Just as much? Indeed. Come along, Lilica. Let us prepare tea. And then that's all the same, so then we're going to go... Oh my god, there's stuff going on. So then this is reading the letters. Dear Amelie, Lilica, today was tough. I tried my hardest, but I still failed. Don't you think life is unfair sometimes? I wish trying hard enough was all it took to succeed. Sorry, I'm whinging, aren't I? I came out of my interview and it was raining. I thought, just my luck. But something interesting happened. A rainbow in the distance peeked out from behind the grey clouds. It reminded me of you, and then I felt a little better. I hope we can meet soon. Yours, Sophia Marion. Woohoo! Yay! Clap, 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 clap. We finished the main story, and then, like I said, I'm just going to quickly skip through so we can see the other endings, because there's 2 more endings. So let's... Or actually, yeah, let's stop reading. I don't know if that, because, again, the letters are all the same. There's nothing different. She ripped the letter from the wall and clutched it to her chest, collapsing to her knees. She couldn't hate me. She couldn't. She adores me like I adore her. She entrusted her everything to me. Everything. Her everything. Amelie. And then skip it. And then, so instead of sever her fate, Lilica walked towards an open cabinet and pulled something out. The metal of the razor glinted. Lilica raised it up and she moved to stand over the bath. With each of the metal cut into her arm, drops of blood fell into the water. Blood still runs in my veins, after all. Sophia rushed past Lilica, desperate to turn off the overflowing water before she froze once again. The water was a deep, dark red. Her slender fingers dipped into the liquid as if she were entranced. And then we go... And then we could either deny her fate or allow her fate. So let us allow her fate. And I think after this it does change slightly, so I'm not going to skip. She doesn't belong to you. Lilica. Finally, Lilica snapped out of her daze. At some point, Amelie had left the guest bedroom and was standing a short distance away from her, looking worried. Instantly, she took a deep breath and composed herself. But her heart still beat as loud as a drum, and the cracks that seemed to be centered around Amelie were still spreading at an increasing rate. It is late. You should retire to your bedroom. Yes, I shall. It's nice having someone else around, isn't it? I feel as if the man is coming back to life. Oh, actually, no, this is all the same. So again, next decision. Oh no, her world is falling apart. Everything's cracking. Or was that the end? Yes, we will try again. Crash, crash, crash. And then the end. Oh, so maybe I shouldn't have skipped all that. Oh, whoops. I feel like I might have skipped that a bit too much. I think there was meant to be more of a... Especially after the yes-no decision. Skipping. But yes, it means you get to see all the people who put time, effort, and patrons who put money towards it. And you for playing the game. Thank you very much. But yes, cute CG. Oh yeah, it like skipped way too fast. Auto forward time. Don't know if there was any way to... So we're going to skip the first bit. Amelie. Please turn around, but look like Lilica. Oh, Amelie, please use this. Okay, and then skip until... I'm always having fun when we're together, Amelie. Ah, I see. Are you jealous? We're not. Just as much. Indeed, blah, 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 blah. You cute little jealous baby. Did you finish the baking? So yeah, then we want to skip this until the next bit. Look ahead. Blah, 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 blah. This is stuff we've all seen before. Stop reading. It doesn't matter. And then skip until the next... And then... So, I don't want to skip too much here, but I'm tired, I don't want to do too much reading. Until it's something new. At any moment, even a breeze would make everything collapse. Didn't we already speak of this? You cannot leave the house. But surely the greenhouse would be safe. No one else uses it, and it is only a few steps from the back door. It is unsafe. You know this. What's gotten into you? Is it because of your friend? I just thought it would be nice to at least sit in the sun. And you may sit by the window in the dining hall. Is it really so unsafe that taking a foot outdoors would be dangerous? Yes. And then I see that you're done with the bath. Skippity, skippity, skip. So, should we allow her fate again and try and see the upper end, or should we go deny her fate? We'll go allow her fate, because I'm pretty sure there's some stuff different. Or, I can't remember. If you want to play, you can choose that one. I'm going to go deny her fate, because, like I said, I'm gonna try and end soon-ish. Then finally, she snapped out of her daze. It's late, you should retire to your bedroom. Hallway was darkened, she relished it. She remembers the night when they killed the Lord. And she's very upset that Amelie wants to leave. And she goes back to the guest bedroom to try and kill Lilica. There we go, this is something different. Then she noticed something. Someone else walking down the hallway unsteadily. Lilica followed closely behind. Through the darkness, the other person was only a shadow, their features obscured and hidden. The sound of her light steps on the old wooden floorboards mixed with the rain that was still raging just outside those walls. The kitchen was by the stairwell? That's right, by the stairwell. But you aren't going to the kitchen, are you? Hand-painted portraits were lined up in rows on either side of the hall. It seemed as if their eyes moved to follow Lilica's every move. Sophia stared up at the grand staircase. She seemed as if she were entranced with each and every step. Oh, come on. Come on, OBS. Or is it YouTube? If it's YouTube or OBS, I'll just give it a minute before I carry on. I can see... Or it's saying no connection. Is that just my internet? That might just be my internet, to be fair. We'll see if it stays up in the VOD. I think my internet might have disconnected. No, connected. There we go. Back again. I think my internet conked out for a little bit, so if anyone else had a dropped connection, that'll be why. Sophia stared up at the grand staircase. She seemed as if she were entranced with each and every step. "They're waiting for you. Those two people. They're calling for you. Go on. Go to them." Sophia's unsteady hand reached for the banister. Her ascent was slow and careful, her eyes fixed on that door. That special door. That room where the maid had met her end and her most hated person rested beside her. That room where she had made a promise to the person she loved. Lilica needed to only reach into the kitchen to procure the item that was waiting for her. Had been waiting for her all this time, since Sophia had arrived. A knife with a dark age stains over the blade and hilt. Long had it sat there, festering, waiting, desperate for more blood. Like a hunter stalking her prey, Lilica followed behind Sophia, the knife gripped tightly in her hand. The two stood side by side, staring at the door to the master bedroom. It was shut tight, as it had been for countless years. Sophia trembled. With a smile, Lilica reached over to give her arm a squeeze. "Go on. You want to know the truth, don't you? You can hear the voices. I'll allow you this much." With a careful motion, Sophia pushed the door open. All at once, countless memories came flooding back, of love, hope, of the future. And of death. Sophia disappeared into the dark room, the only light being a candle she carried in her hand. A family of mice ran out of the room and down the stairs. The taste of freedom was oh so sweet for them. I'm just going to have another sippy of water. More quiet than the mice that had escaped, Lilica followed Sophia into the room. Wax dripped from the burning candle onto the wooden floor, which also rude at making a mess. They do actually have candle holders that have the plate at the bottom to catch the wax, because otherwise you're traipsing wax everywhere. She trembled as she reached a shaky hand to the bed. And at the same time, Lilica swung the door closed behind them, and the room plunged into darkness. But that darkness didn't matter to Lilica. Not to she, who knew this room like the back of her hand. "Amelie, is that you?" "Amelie isn't here to save you." Sophia's eyes searched the room to no avail. I'm sorry I came in here, after you asked me not to. I'll just go now, okay?" The pale-haired woman fell back onto the bed before she had a moment to react. The yellowed bones of the lord of the manor and maid rattled underneath her, flesh long deteriorated. Lilica smiled. And then this was kind of spoiled because we saw the CG at the end, but yes. I think it's also because I did the story slightly out of order because I did the true end first.
"How long has it been since I last saw myself? Truly."
What? I can't yell too loud. I think it clips out and cuts out.
"It looks like we're finally meeting, Sophia."
With a leg on either side of her, Lilica held Sophia down to the bed, still smiling. She tried to squirm, to escape, to run free,
Her eyes were filled with terror.
You won't take her away from me.
The fierce scream became a muffled cry, before finally extinguishing fully.
So going,
Finally, my lady, did you see? Are you watching? I've saved her. I've saved her. I missed the last little bit because I managed to press the button when I didn't mean to. I've saved Amelie. That's what she said. Okay, cool.
Only when Lilica tried to stand did she notice it. An aged bone poking out from her stomach. Dark liquid dripped out from around it. With a slight frown, Lilica pulled it free.
It's okay. It'll be okay.
Lilica closed her eyes.
I'm just a little tired. I just sleep for a bit.
Her eyes grew heavy. So heavy. So heavy that the only option would be to sleep at this very moment.
How could you do that? Lilica? Why? Why would you hurt Amelie like that? Why did you kill Amelie?
Her eyes opened with a start, her heart racing faster than it had ever raced before. The room seemed to be spinning, and her head throbbing. Then she saw it, lying on the bed. Between the two skeletons was the body of a young woman. A young woman with long brown hair. Her dress was stained red.
Amelie, no, that's not. Who did this? Who? Sophia? Amelie, wake up! Wake!
She blinked, and the young woman below her disappeared. In her place, Sophia appeared. The room was still dark. Not even a drop of sunlight peeked through the covered windows.
What? A cruel trick of the eyes!
She stepped out from the master bedroom, just as Amelie did the same, right next door. Good morning, Lilica. I was just on my way to see if Sophia's awakened yet.
Amelie? Sophia disappeared during the night. I believe she went to the same place your parents went.
I mean, you're not entirely wrong there. She is in the exact same place her parents are, because you sent them to their grave. What? That cannot be right.
Don't run! Amelie!
Amelie dashed down the hall and knocked quickly on the door to the guest bedroom, which fell open with no resistance. Inside, the bedding was dishevelled, and her luggage was strewn about. It's not true. She wouldn't just leave without saying goodbye.
Dearie me. I'm sorry. I told you it was a bad idea for anyone to visit. Didn't I?
Oh, Lilica, this isn't fair. I thought she said we would.
There. Come here.
Lilica wrapped her thin arms around the young woman,
gently patting her on the back.
See, you shouldn't depend on anyone else. I'm here. I won't ever leave you.
Amelie clutched at her back, tears already falling from her eyes.
We'll be together forever.
Amelie froze in Lilica's arms before pulling back completely. What happened to your face? Yeah, she's got the fuzzies. She's static. I don't know if that's meant to represent how she doesn't have a soul. Like, I know she doesn't have a body, so I don't know if this is meant to represent her soul. But it could mean it's like it's showing how she's lost her humanity and she just doesn't have anything else when she can't protect Amelie's happiness. It's like, other than that, she's nothing. I'm just going to mute again to adjust my chair because it slid backward. Okay, I think I'm back. We're so back. Okay.
My face.
Lilica's hands went to her face instantly.
Is something wrong?
Amelie's expression had darkened, her mouth shut firmly in line.
My face.
Pulling a small mirror from her pocket, Lilica finally saw it. A black void of nothingness where her face should have been. She turned and ran down the hall and up the stairs before Lilica could even call out after her. The void seemed to seep out from her very skin, oozing, leaking out from the wound at her stomach.
That disease-ridden hag. Amelie, wait. It's okay. Everything will be... Oh.
Lilica's hand that reached out towards Amelie fell to her side at the top of the staircase in this manner, in the middle of a field, far out in the countryside. Amelie stood in an open doorway. A doorway that hadn't been opened it to her in more years than she could truly imagine. And inside, she witnessed a sight she never should have. Her eyes hollow and her body petrified. So...
Amelie, this isn't...
Stay away from me! Her long brown hair cascaded out around her as Amelie rushed into the bedroom, slamming the door behind her. Lilica rushed up the staircase, banging her fist on the locked door.
Amelie, this is a misunderstanding. She wanted to hurt you. I've saved you.
She fell to her knees, her fist still pounding on the wooden door. A muffled sob came from within, then silence. The void surrounded Lilica, flowing from her wound and wrapping itself around her body. She curled into a ball. The sound of a chair hitting the ground inside the bedroom was the last sound Lilica heard before her eyes closed and she became one with the void. So, yeah, the implication there is not fun. One with the void, 2 out of 3, and then we did do the first one. Should we quickly try and do that one? Again, I'll just skip through until we get to the choice. Just so we can get all the endings, and then I will end it. Is this really okay? What about the future? Should you try again? Yes. We'll quickly try and do the last one. Boop, 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 boop. Oh yeah, and then it starts from about here anyway, so that's good. Cool. The room was dark. Amelie had long gone to bed, leaving Sophia alone in her room. She ducked her head under the cover and pulled out her phone. Still dead. Sophia clutched it to her chest. Oh, what do I do? What exactly is going on here? Sophia's body stiffened up. Her back was to the door, but her mind screamed not to turn around. Footsteps crept closer, closer, and closer, until... Stay away from me! Ah! Sophia threw her bedding at the approaching person. Okay, so this is a bit we've seen, so I'm gonna skip-de-doo, doop-de-doo, boop-de-boo, my darling. Oh wait, what? Nah, what? Huh? Okay. So, that's still... I was not expecting it to skip that much. Okay, so there isn't a second choice. I think that's the one where we then accept her fate. So it might be the same ending? It depends. Do we get the happy end after the credits? If we get the happy end after the credits, then I think that's it. I was not expecting it to skip. But again, get to see all the cute CGs. We saw the upper end, so I'm happy. I think that's pretty much it. I can't remember if there was anything too different. Oh yeah, so there we go. It kept skipping. Why does it skip so fast? I even lowered the auto forward time. Yeah. So yes. So if you want to play it yourself, you could also click through, see if you can get that final end, just in case I did miss anything. But that is nearly been like 2.5 hours, so I'm gonna go to bed soon. So if we go to my just chatting screen, there we go. Hello, hello. I think... Oh, there you go. That chat works somewhat. Oh, and it disappeared. I don't know. OBS has been messing up a lot, so I don't think it's just me. I'll turn my mic up. Yeah, so I need to... Or there it is again. So you can see GPT, but you can't see... Let's see. If I... Nope. Okay, so you can't see your full name, I'm afraid, Pearl, but you can see some of the messages you put. And if I say, thank you for coming, little heart. But yeah, I don't know why the chat boxes haven't been working fully, but whatever. And then I should have my... Oh, no, that's still as... There we go. So, my schedule for the week, if no one's seen it yet, is we did Amelie Part 2, Take 2 today, because like I said at the beginning of the stream, I had a little whoopsie with the last one that I did on Halloween, where I was watching a stream while I was setting up, and it was coming through on the starting soon screen, so I needed to get rid of that so I didn't have copyright, and like, so you didn't hear other people's stuff going on and have it be confusing. Tomorrow I'll have offline. Wednesday, I was thinking we could just do a nice chill Suika, a watermelon game, or I might change it and see if there's any other games that I want to play. But that's just like a kind of open one, but Suika is just nice and easy, and I want to get some practice in. I want to try and get a good high score. And then Tears of the Kingdom, because we're no longer doing spooky month. So gonna kind of go back to the normal schedule. So Tears of the Kingdom, and then more Paranormal Sight. Finally, I've had the one set up for ages, and I've just not had the time, or I've not had the energy. But we're gonna get back into it. We're gonna get back into it because I really like that one. And then Saturday offline, Sunday offline, because again there's a few things going on. But if they're not too busy, I can see if I can do some gorilla or something in the afternoon, especially on the Saturday or in the evening. But other than that, I hope you've all had a very good time today. I had a lot of fun. I'm really happy that we finally officially finished this one. And I will see you next time, which will be Wednesday. So make sure you have a drink of water, make sure you stretch. If it's the morning, have a lovely rest of your day. If it's the evening or nighttime, like how it is for me, I hope you have a really good sleep. All right? Bye 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 bye.